Have you ever had a near-death experience? Or perhaps someone you know may have had a near-death experience? Well, if so, we would love to hear your story and have you as a guest on our podcast. For more information, visit NDE.world. Again, that's NDE.world. We would love to hear your story.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the NDE World Podcast.
Hello, you beautiful souls. We are back in the studio today for another adventure on NDE World Podcast. I am your host, Ashton Lewis, and I found this hitchhiker on the way into work this morning, and it says her name is Daphne Lynn.
Good
My lovely
morning.
hostess, Miss Daphne Lynn. How are you, Daphne?
I am very, very good and vibrating super high today.
Oh, get the vibes going,
Got
huh?
the vibes going on this morning. Feeling good. Feeling right, man.
Good vibes, right?
Good vibration.
That's good. That's really good, you know. In fact, that really ties in today's episode, actual vibration. So what is this vibe that people talk about?
Ooh, where to start?
Good question. Where do we start? So that's today's episode. We're going to look into what actually is a vibration and what is this vibration all about, and how can we raise our vibration to where it can affect us in a positive way. Okay, and we'll show you where it starts, and we'll tell you the sources we've got the information from. Okay, so let's start with the basic foundation. Okay, the basics, I would say, is to understand who you are. Okay, and once you begin to understand who you are, then you can have a better understanding of the bigger picture, okay? So starting off, understanding that you are a spiritual being, okay? And you are having an experience in a physical realm, in a physical body designed to function in that realm, okay? So once you understand that concept, that you're both human and
Spirit.
spirit, or body and spirit, should I say, or the actual soul, or the avatar in the soul, you can understand that you really need to address both of those areas to function. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So starting with vibration, everything has a vibe. Everything puts off a vibration. In fact, it's one of the actual principles in hermetics. Right, that everything vibrates, and everything vibrates at different frequencies.
Resonances.
Absolutely. Now, a person in a very good health will vibrate at a very good vibration, okay? Especially like in relation to Mother Earth. I think she vibrates, I want to say, was
Around 7 something, yeah.
7 something. Yeah, Mother Earth is a 7. And humans also vibrate, those who are healthy vibrate at a good 7 or even a 7 plus on their vibration. However, you can also go down to a 4 or 5 vibration as well, which is a whole lot lower. Your objective in life is to be able to vibrate at a higher vibration. Okay, and what that term means is when your body is at maximum working performance, okay? When your body is working at top most the way it's supposed to be, it only follows that the actual spirit can also function at a maximum ability as well. So the way to look at it is the higher vibration you are, okay, the higher spiritual you will live, the higher spiritual experience you will have. So when we talk about these NDEs, these people are going into certain realms of consciousness that, is different frequencies, perhaps.
Which may or may not be pleasurable.
Correct.
So you got your NDE versus your DNDE.
Right, and each one of those could be affected by the
vibration you're at when you
Correct.
transition.
When you transition. If you're living more of the barbaric, or even the shameful, guilt, lust, greed, anger, anger could be a constructive emotion or vibration. However, if it's in a negative way, or hate, or any of these things, these are going to keep you in negative vibes.
Lower vibrations in your lower chakras.
Correct.
They are that lowest form. You want to raise your vibration to get out of those lower chakras and start living in the upper chakras. The first three are the lowest vibrations. As you get more into the fourth and up chakra, those are your higher vibrations attuned to love and knowing and spiritual awareness. You've got to get past those lower three chakras because those are the lowest vibrations that humans can vibrate on.
Very well said. And let's look into that a little bit farther. And that's the purpose of today's episode, is we're going to show you and teach you from the masters of the past the way to actually get to that level of vibration that Jesus himself truly taught about, the original Yeshua. Okay, when I say Jesus, I don't want to refer to the if you look at the Christian Jesus and you can grab all of those constructive, positive teachings, absolutely grab them, because those are, there is divine moral stuff, but that's in all humans. It's something in us all. You just have to be careful about worshiping a person that was created to be a god. Okay. And you have to have a book to really explain all that. Well, you have to understand, without getting too much on that subject, this podcast is not about that. If Jesus that brings you closer to the source, or makes you a better soul, a better being, a better loving, kinder, then by all means, you've got the right. That's how that source is appearing to you in your life. However, if it's to a point where you feel, or you are with a group of people, or a church, or whatever, or a religion that claims to love Jesus, okay, or what Jesus has represented, but they are living in a lifestyle to, well, hey, we're better than you. You're going to do what we need to do, what we say, or you're going to burn in hell, or you're going to have to follow us, or you have to follow Jesus. You're going to have to go. That's not what the true Jesus or the true Yeshua had really taught. Now we're gonna focus on the books that the actual Bible was taken from. I like to, when we do research, we like to get to the bottom, get to the source, and we will talk Bible anytime we need to. So this is never about Bible bashing. It's not about Jesus bashing, because I believe that's a beautiful soul that personified, that represents the love that humanity has. And if that source appears to you through that, by all means do that. But don't condemn another soul because they don't have that same belief, because that source is going to appear to them the way it needs to appear to them.
Right, and it's all BS. Belief system.
Correct.
We are born, we're born with everything we need. We don't have a Bible in our hand. We don't have any scroll indoctrination in our hand when we're born to live by. It's all instilled within us.
Absolutely. And if humanity was living, pardon the interruption, was living the way we're supposed to be, without the world that has been created, of course, the modern world, then you would have those loving parents there bringing you into the world and nurturing you and teaching you love and living off of Mother Earth, and how to grow spiritually, and you would be, and it would go on, and that's how you would actually live your life. Yeah. However, our culture, I can't say the whole world, but I would say most of the world. I would feel comfortable saying the whole world. a lot of people don't have that kind of relationship with their parents or with family members, period. So a lot of us, we come into a family that maybe our parents had to work the whole time and we got stuck in the school system. And well, guess what? You're only going to learn and be indoctrinated by what the school is feeding you. So before you know it, you become something that you don't need to be. Okay. And that's what's wrong with a lot of people today. So before I get too off subject here, the Jesus, the Yeshua, okay, we're going to be looking at a couple of the books here. Please look into it. One is the actual, the Gospel of Peace, okay, and it covers a lot of his work, okay, a pre-Bible, okay, and also the actual the Gospel of the Nazarenes, which is also sometimes called the Gospel of the original 12 or the Gospel of the original Matthew in Hebrew. So that's the original where they say that the modern church, or the mother church, Catholic Church more specifically, has taken a lot of the information from and created the modern Bible and turned it into a religion, into where people actually have to worship the Jesus that was created via Christianity, and then took that power and went out and started slaughtering millions of people in the Inquisitions, and crusades and things like that. Horrific, history. But when you look into it, you'll know exactly where I'm coming from. Like I said, I'm not out bashing anything, and we don't believe in that. I believe if it brings you closer, makes you a better source, by all means, it's doing the right thing. But if it's going to divide you, if it's going to make you want to harm another soul, if it's going to make you think you're better than someone else, it's going to make you think you know more than someone else, it thinks you, anything that separates you from reality or from love or from the source or from God or from any of that, then you should question whether or not you're in the right system.
Very true. The books really break down how we should eat to keep us in a good vibration. And when you can stay in that good vibration, it's going to raise your awareness of everything. And if you have an NDE and an experience, then it's going to take you to a
whole different higher vibration, a whole different experience.
Exactly.
That's right. So that's what we're going to do. So let's start with the actual Gospel of Peace, okay? Now, for those out there who are just tuning in, we're going to actually show you how to get your vibration to where it needs to be. And a lot of this is going to be against what you have already been taught. We are going to challenge your belief systems.
But it's just belief systems.
Absolutely. It's
belief
all BS,
systems change.
Right? Correct. That all BS, right. So, in the books, and I'm going to be quoting Yeshua, or the ones you call Jesus. So, if you hear me say Yeshua, it means I'm referring to the one you call Jesus. Yeah. All right. Starting off, and I don't have any notes here in front of me. I'm just going to kind of go off of what I've experienced it in the past, And so you feel free to chime in, Daphne, whenever you want. It starts off with you and your mindset. Okay, you've got to get into the right mindset and the right mode. Okay,
right,
and really understanding who you are. Okay,
exactly.
And the way you do that is once you've got the right mindset, but the mindset is also connected to the body. Okay, when you understand that you're both mind functioning in a body, you understand both, and then you understand you have to approach both of them. Okay. So the way it works is Yeshua says that before you even attempt to know God, okay, before you even try to go down that road, you're wasting your time.
Get your mind and body right.
He says you've got to get your mind, you got to get your body right first, and then you can get your spirit right, okay? And he uses the Mother Earth, okay? See, the Bible doesn't teach you that, but Yeshua did. He did teach Mother Earth, okay? He taught that, and he was vegetarian, okay? What we would call vegan, actually, He didn't eat animal, not like the Bible portrays, and even the fish miracles and things like that, and we'll touch on that as well. But the point is, the number one thing that he taught was do not eat animals. Okay, I know that's a lot
Flesh.
of that. Yeah, no flesh, no animal flesh, and I know that's going to turn a lot of people off right now. And you go ahead if you want to turn off the radio, that's fine. But hear me out, okay? Hear me out. And I'm only talking from experience. I don't eat meat myself, and Daphne
I
doesn't
love
eat
a
meat.
good steak. Let me tell you, makes my mouth water thinking about it. But I don't eat meat anymore.
Absolutely, and I love steak. That was my thing. If let's throw a big old fat steak on the grill and grill it, and
Yeah.
man, get that just the way it smells and just
Oh,
those
yeah.
juices flowing.
And I can smell it now. I mean, it makes
Absolutely.
my mouth water. But
Yeah.
you know what? I've come past that desire to kill my fellow brother, to want to harm something for me to eat.
You're absolutely
There
right.
are fruit trees everywhere, vegetables everywhere. Mother Earth provides everything we need, and that's what keeps us in those high vibrations. And that's what Yeshua, Jesus said. He said, eat therefore all your life at the table of our earthly mother, and you will never see want. You will never see disease. Ties
Think
in
about
with
that.
the documentaries I've seen on YouTube and on TV about juicing. It reverses cardiac diseases. It reverses diabetes, kidney failures. It
Just
reverses
getting the animal
just from
alone.
eating fruit.
Yes, just getting the animal out of the diet.
So his words ring true in this. If
Absolutely.
we would only do it.
There's
We
the
have
challenge.
that mindset that I have to have my steak. I have to have my meat, and you don't. You can get your proteins from the fruits and vegetables you eat.
You can.
Some of the strongest, most resilient creatures out there are vegetarians. Look at
The herbivores, correct?
the herbivores, yeah.
Gorillas,
Yeah.
rhinoceros, and things like that. Yeah, and look at your carnivores, like your hyenas and your vultures.
Look
and
how, yeah.
scraggly looking and nasty. So you have to understand on the dark side of the backside how meat, especially in over here in the West, but really all over the world. It's a big commodity. It's a big moneymaker for people,
Yeah.
and they've gotten us addicted on it. And I'm glad that I haven't touched it, and I don't even remember when I quit. But it was way back when we started discovering these lost books and some of the lost stuff that was pre-biblical, and this guy, this great teacher that we call Jesus, this Yeshua guy,
He taught us the way.
taught us, he lived by what's called the way, okay? And the way goes all the way back to the beginning of time. A lot of the Buddhist and Tibetan traditions and all, they walk the way. The Tao Te Ching is the actual way. And what the way is living off of Mother Earth. If you can, I can even show you in the Christian Bible, Genesis 1:29. Yeah, I give you all what? Fruit and seed-bearing plants, for food. So in the original picture, we were all vegetarians,
We
okay?
were designed
and
that
you can
way.
live off of Mother Earth, okay? So in this book, the Gospel of Peace, he even tells us that you can eat grass. You can eat the grass, the same thing that the cows eat. You can eat grass, so don't think
miracle
you can.
grass.
Yeah, that the grass is. He said that's some of the best stuff you can eat. So it's like people's going to hear this, going like, "What grass? Huh?" No, all I'm doing is quoting from the book. You can look it up yourself. But the point is there is a natural way to live. Okay, we were not designed originally created, or even the word evolved. Okay, this is something that was just thrown on us, and we've grown accustomed to. But the point is, when you learn that the animals are your brothers and sisters, okay, as far as fellow beings, okay, or creatures, life on this earth, okay, they are souls, okay. And I'm not saying like some Hindu teachings or some religions teach that, and I do understand and do look at a lot of the reincarnation, and I'm kind of understanding it more and grasping it more because it's hard coming from a Christian background to really grasp reincarnation, but Jesus taught reincarnation.
Oh,
This
yeah.
guy, he taught reincarnation, but that's for another subject. The point is, understanding this body that we're in, you've got to eat right. Okay, that's the foundation. You've got to eat right, be in the right mindset, and then once you eat right, you get a clearer mindset, and it starts to feed itself, the spirit and the mind. Okay,
raises the vibration of the whole body.
absolutely, because see, food is alive. Okay, that's on a tree.
Death brings death.
Correct. Life. You can only live with life. You cannot live by eating dead carcass. Okay. And that's where we get all of our modern diseases. That's why they have built a whole medical world off of, heart disease and people dying and obesity and all this garbage is because of the modern diet that people are in,
Think about it. The standard American diet, the acronym SAD. It's
sad
so
diet.
sad indeed. Just change your mindset. Change your BS into a more positive belief system.
Yeah, and that's what's important. And when you learn, and I'm quoting from these books, that this body is referred to as a temple. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
It's for the temple of the spirit. Okay, and the spirit is the temple for God or the source.
The source.
It's all connected. So Jesus taught us how, or Yeshua. Okay, that's what I'm referring to. This book here taught us that you have to go through mother first. In other words, so once you start to clean the animal out of the body, clean the sugars. That's another one we got to keep in mind. I know everybody's like,
I'm guilty.
I don't, and people says, well, Jesus died for me. I don't have to worry about what I eat. Well, that's the wrong Jesus. Well, we're talking about pre-Jesus. We're talking about the one that Jesus was built on, and that's deep, and that's not for baby Christians. Okay, that's not for baby believers. We're talking about the one who taught that. So even let's just take even with the Jesus that you believe. If you believe that he has, okay, let me ask you, listener, okay, do you believe, with all your heart and soul that there was a Jesus and that this Jesus was the Son of God and that he died for you and your sins and all you have to do is just believe that he did that. Okay, pretty much. Just, those who ever believe in him, that he is the Son of God, pretty much has eternal life. That's kind of like the background I came from,
Right. Yeah, that's a belief system that takes your power away, your responsibility away from you being responsible for your own fate.
Right.
Your own vibration.
Absolutely.
It takes away your power as a human to do something good.
And
You're giving all your power external. You're going outside your own source.
Right, and like I said, that's kind of a different subject when you start getting off
It is.
into
It's
that
a different
particular part.
subject.
But the Yeshua that we're talking about, so he starts and he uses. I remember him using the analogy that for the first few years of a child's life, that's where the mother plays her role. Okay, that's why the mother has the breast. Okay, that's why the child has that original bonding when they come into this world. The original bonding is going to be predominantly mother. Okay, not to say that the child doesn't bond with father, because they do, and some even bond more with father than they do mother. However,
Mother sustains.
in the big picture, in the reality of all things, the mother is that one that's nurturing and being there for that child in
Like
the first
Mother
few years.
Earth.
Absolutely. And Yeshua uses the analogy, that's how mother is. When we need to feed off of her for about the first 7 years. Okay, the first 7 years, like a child would feed off of his mother for about the first 7 years. When he becomes 7 years old, then the father takes him and he takes him out into the field and starts to teach him how to, take care of the earth, how to be responsible, how to, work the fields, how to harvest the crops, how to feed the animals and take care of the family. That's where father comes in. So the analogy is don't expect to get to God. Don't think so. Oh, I believe, or I'm going to go to Jesus to get to God. That's not what Jesus taught. He taught that you are all Lord's. You are all source. You are all God.
Yeah, and we covered that in one of our recent podcasts, that the parallel sayings of Jesus and of Krishna, that they are the source, the I am.
Right.
So we give that away when we believe in someone else saving us. Absolutely.
Think about that. Anyway, I don't want to get too sidetracked, but it is a good point. So the foundation, guys, for your vibration, the vibration foundation is what you eat. You've got to get a hold of what goes into the temple, okay? And that includes animal flesh. That means whether it's chicken, whether it's steak, whether it's
fish,
seafood, yes, whether it's lobsters, crab, fish,
if it's got a face,
any kind of animal, anything that's got a face. If it's got a face,
don't eat it.
Or if it's got any kind of life in it at one time in the regard of an animal form, don't eat it. Yeah, it's not to be eaten. Okay. However, you are allowed to eat any kind of vegetables, any kind of fruit, preferably fruit. Fruit are the easiest for the body to digest and then contain the most punch per bite. You can eat fruit and you're putting life into your temple. So once you get all the animal out, once you get out of the sugar, you're going to have to, I'm telling you right now, get the sugar out right now. And there are sweet alternatives. And I'm not talking about man-made chemicals like the Splendas. That's even worse than the Equates and all. We're talking about natural things, from the maple syrups to the agaves, correct. And, there's
even pure
natural
cane
honey,
sugar without being
pure cane sugar, the raw. There's healthier alternatives for the temple. So that's what you're going to have to do. So no animal, all right? No cookies and cupcakes and all the candy bars, and no soft drinks. Okay? That means no sugar. Get your sugar sources from your fruit, okay? And once the animal's out, once the toxic sugar's out, the man-made sugars and garbage, and you start putting the real fruit into the body's going to thank you, and it'll start cranking and cleaning out that machine from the inside out, you see.
Yeah,
so,
it actually, when you are eating fruits and vegetables and juicing, your cravings cut down, because the natural fruits and vegetables is taking place of those cravings from the sugars and chemicals you're putting in your body. It goes to clean it, and that vibration just raises and raises, and your energy level really raises, and you can get so much more done.
Absolutely.
So that's putting that vibration up there where we need to be to experience different things in life.
Right.
Manifest. I mean, that's one of the things people talk about with your manifestations is your vibration level. You're being grateful and thankful for things. Just raising that vibration. Keep the negative away. Because that lowers your vibration. It really does. So you just have to keep above those lower chakras, and that's where most people stay, is in those lower chakras. It makes me think of the Remember book, that where the guides say that everyone is known only by their vibration, not by name. That energy source, we go back to that pure energy source, and we don't have names. It is our vibration.
You could be around somebody at the shopping mart or the local store, grocery store, whatever, and get a certain vibe from a person. You can tell a person if they're on a light-hearted vibe or if they're kind of a dark, kind of eerie vibe. I mean, what is it? These are these vibrations that we're putting out, right?
Right.
Absolutely. A lot of that has to do with your diet. Now, to incorporate this, before we get too far into the diet part, we're going to share a part that Jesus taught, how to even remove your sin. And he said, this is how you remove your sins, okay? It ties in with eating from Mother Earth, all right? And flushing out the lower parts of the digestive tract by means of either enemas, maybe water flushes, salt water flushes, fruit water flushes, certain flushes that you can do But just eating the way you're supposed to is going to start to clean out your colon, okay?
Mucoid plaque.
The mucoid plaque. Most people are walking around with about 5 or 10 pounds of undigested red meat in their colon.
Oh, yeah.
They are toxic machines. Okay, your body cannot function with all of this, and it's because of your diet of animal and sugar and things like that, because the body is not designed to process that. And when you're eating right and your body's working the way it is, you're going to be a lean machine. You start getting the flab, usually, guys usually around the stomach and the waist, and the women's maybe hips and bottom or thighs or whatever. We all get it in all different locations.
Fluffy.
You have to question your diet. It's probably because you're not eating the way you're supposed to eat, and that's just the truth. Nothing more, nothing less. You don't have to go on any kind of diet. What's the first three letters in the word diet? Die. Nobody wants to go on a diet. That's why diets don't work. Okay. So
A lifestyle.
It has to be a lifestyle. And when we took over this lifestyle ourselves, and notice that's the point, we decided to do this. Like, so you have to decide on what you want to do with your life, and you have to make that choice.
You have to change those BS systems.
Yes. Belief systems.
Exactly.
Yeah. So he talks about that's how you get rid of the sin. You have to do enemas, clean out the body, because he relates sin to everything that's inside of you and inside of your body, and the things you do can be held within the body. If you harm somebody, if you get hurt, or you experience those low vibrations, well, they get trapped in this septic of our bodies, because the Jesus of pre-biblical, he was actually of the healer religions. He studied a lot of that. He went to the Middle East, and he spent a lot of time in India, over in Tibet, correct, all over in that area. So we have historical proof of all this stuff. And but he learned a lot of the healing stuff. So keep that in mind. If your body is not functioning and you're all clogged up because you're eating flesh and animal and garbage that's put into your body, then anything that you do, it's going to get trapped. Even the bad that you do. Okay, now this in turn creates what we call cancer. The body starts to eat itself, starts to disease itself. You have to get all of that out of your body, and that's how you cleanse your sins. Okay, I know it's deep and it's way different from Orthodox Christianity. That sin is, you miss the mark and you're going to burn in hell, and only Jesus can save you. Well, yeah, this is what the real Jesus really taught. Okay, so that's
evil
why
is within us.
Yeah,
that it's not an external thing.
Yeah, your evil is within. Correct. It is.
And on the enemas and stuff, if you're not comfortable with doing an enema, then there are, like you said previously, there's flushes, there's
that's what I do,
cleansers
the saltwater flush
that you can purchase and buy to flush out that mucoid plaque and get that out of you. And I have went through a flush and juice to where I cleansed that body out. I went a 30-day fast and juice only, and my vibration level, my energy level went through the roof, and I lost 10 pounds in that time frame, and it literally, absolutely. I felt so good.
Your energy level goes through your vibration. You want a high.
You feel lighter. You really do, and you can do those cleanses if you're not comfortable with doing an enema.
Absolutely, and he also says, because when you do these things and stored in your body, it's imprinted in your body and your spirit. And then when you transition over to the next level, which ties in with our NDE experiences and what this podcast is all about, Jesus himself, Yeshua himself, said the same thing. When you carry that over, then that source or that God or whatever you want to call it is going to be able to look into that and see all of that garbage and those deeds in that spiritual body as well. So he teaches, cleanse out your body. And as mentioned, it doesn't have to be an enema. If you're comfortable with that, go for that. But like I said, I use the saltwater flush, and all that simply is a little bit of vinegar and salt and water.
And it works in about 30 minutes.
Yes, so
stay home.
There's plenty of recipes out there. Salt and water and vinegar flush, maybe.
Yeah.
it's apple cider vinegar. Yeah.
Apple cider vinegar.
And it will cleanse out your body. So if anybody's attempting to be a real spiritual person, the way the real, spiritual masters taught, you're going to have to start with mother. You're going to have to start feeding off of mother's breast is the analogy that he used. And that means
and that's her
start
fruits
eating
and vegetables.
Fruits and vegetables. Okay. Anything that mother produces it should be okay.
You can eat it.
Unless it's something that we know for a fact that's really poisonous or, to stay away from, then, you have to use common sense. But okay, now looking at the clock, I think what we're going to do, let's go ahead and end this episode right here. And let's just pick back up here on the next episode where we're leaving off here. How's that sound?
That sounds absolutely wonderful. So stay tuned for part 2 of this episode.
Sounds good.